This science fiction story begins by showing a future where humans had developed quite a bit. All humans were called members and they all worked under a company called the Collective. Actually, this is a time when humans had fully developed and become independent. All of them had certain biometric chips implanted in them, which prevented them from sharing their feelings with anyone. They lived their lives like feelingless robots. They were neither allowed to love nor marry anyone. Even human children were artificially conceived when the lady was fully prepared. At this time, all humans wore the same clothes to avoid any discrimination among them. Everyone was assigned a specific task, which they had to come and complete on time, and then leave. They all had a chip in their hands that allowed them to be scanned wherever they went, so their entry could be recorded in the database. Additionally, the company's security systems kept a watchful eye around to ensure no human was breaking the rules. If anyone was found doing so, they would be killed. Now, we are told on the screen about a disease called SOS. In this era, SOS referred to when a person regained all their emotions and memories, as having emotions at this time was considered a crime. Therefore, everyone underwent regular checkups. Now we are introduced to a boy named Silas, who worked in a large art gallery among all these people. Silas's daily routine is similar to that of other people, waking up in the morning, having breakfast, and then sitting idle. But when it's time for him to work, he leaves the house and goes to the company. Silas creates very good paintings for his large art gallery, mostly depicting ancient times when there were world wars. These paintings are very valuable in the present time, so the company has turned it into a business. People don't talk to each other except for 2 times. First, when groups meet to discuss which project they need to work on, where Silas would sit and continuously stare at a woman named Nia, which was quite unusual because people were told not to look at others for too long. Then, during lunch, there were 2-person seating arrangements, but even then, there was significant distance between the people. That was the time when they could talk to each other. Now we see Silas returning home after finishing his work. He noticed 2 security guards capturing 2 men because they had fallen ill and were being taken to prison, as falling ill was strictly prohibited here. Silas didn't care much about this, so he just went home. Like others, Silas follows his daily routine. He eats the artificial intelligence-made bland food, solves a Rubik's Cube puzzle, and then goes straight to bed. All the people were performing the same tasks, which unknowingly provided them with a robotic lifestyle. The next day, Silas saw that the 2 men who were taken away the previous day were completely executed. This society did not want any person to have feelings. Many employees were living a very suffocating life due to the rules of this society, so they would jump off high places to commit suicide. The other employees looked at their dead bodies as if it was a normal occurrence. They showed no emotion on their faces. However, Silas noticed Nia acting strangely. She seemed a bit disturbed by seeing the dead bodies. Silas observed her changing behavior but didn't tell anyone. In a very large meeting room, all the employees were sitting and discussing a new project. Everyone's attention was focused on the large screen, but Silas kept staring at Nia. This was very unusual behavior because Silas had never done this before, indicating that his behavior was also starting to change. He even thought about Nia while eating dinner after returning home. The shocking moment came when Silas had a dream for the first time. He dreamed that he was at a great height and about to fall, so he woke up in fright and accidentally bumped into a glass. Silas sustained a minor head injury, so he went for treatment in the morning. There, he saw a woman crying, indicating that she was also beginning to experience emotions. This suggests she was in one of the stages of SOS. SOS disease had several stages through which humans could develop emotions, but having emotions was considered a crime. While sitting at the treatment center, Silas met a man named Jonas. Jonas asked Silas which stage of SOS he was in, to which Silas simply replied that he was not ill. Through their conversation, Silas learned that Jonas was in the 2nd stage of SOS. There were only 4 stages of this disease, after which humans would fully experience emotions. When that happens, they are immediately locked up in jail and executed. Silas, scared, went to the doctor for treatment. The doctor collected all of Silas's blood samples and confirmed that Silas was indeed in the 1st stage of SOS, meaning he had contracted the disease. Silas became very frightened and asked the doctor for treatment, but the doctor said that their team was continuously researching and would soon find a cure. For now, the doctor gave Silas some medicines to suppress his emotions. After returning home, Silas's profile in the main computers was updated to mention that he was going through the 1st stage of SOS, meaning that everyone would gradually find out that Silas was also sick. When Silas returned to his job, his manager asked him how he got injured on his head. Silas did not provide much explanation and simply said that the doctor treated him and it was a mistake. However, Nia, who was watching Silas, understood that it was not just a mistake and there must be some other reason behind it. During lunch, Silas kept staring at Nia. Nia had a bee fly near her, and she caught it in her glass. The way she was talking about the bee was not allowed here, but Silas couldn't take his eyes off Nia. Silas took all his medicines from the treatment center and went home. He watched a video explaining the SOS disease. It is actually a type of genetic disease where many genes that suppress emotions malfunction, and to fix those genes, Silas was given regular medicines. Since Silas started taking his medicines regularly, he began having strange thoughts. He literally starts thinking about different things, especially his focus on Nia, as Silas might like Nia somewhere deep down. Due to all these things, Silas was unable to focus properly on his work. Now, he makes a mistake on a drawing that was to be included in the art gallery, but Nia corrects it. Their manager notices that Nia and Silas are talking and coordinating their work together. Coordination was strictly prohibited, but Nia handles the situation. Due to being very troubled and going into depression, Silas tells all his team members that he is suffering from the first stage of SOS. All of Silas's managers decide to separate Silas from the group to prevent the disease from spreading to others. However, Silas feels worst when Nia agrees with their decision. From the next day, Silas was sent to work separately from the rest of the team, which made him feel very lonely. One day, Silas starts following Nia because he wants to find answers to some questions. However, Silas doesn't know that Nia has already noticed that he is being followed. Nia immediately turns around and asks Silas what he wants. Silas, based on his observations, asks if she is also suffering from SOS. Nia quickly denies it and leaves without answering Silas. However, Silas is now somewhat certain that Nia is also ill with SOS like him. To find some records, Silas goes to the office at night and starts investigating Nia's computer. But a little later, Nia herself enters the office, having come from the restroom. Silas follows Nia into the restroom. They talk closely for the first time. Nia tells Silas everything. She is in the second stage of SOS and has been dealing with the disease for a year now. Since then, she has been trying to find a cure for the disease. Silas had also stopped taking the medicines, causing his emotions to increase significantly. Now, after coming so close, Silas and Nia cannot control their emotions and Silas starts touching her in a strange way. Nia can't control herself either and hugs Silas. Both of them experience the feeling of hugging for the first time, which they find very pleasant. They share a wonderful moment together. Nia can't stop thinking about Silas because she has never felt such emotions before. The two of them then went back into the restroom together and shared a kiss. Their emotions were uncontrollable, and Nia couldn't hide her feelings even if she wanted to. Suddenly, Silas's manager enters the restroom. Silas goes to his manager to distract him and hide the truth about him and Nia. However, the manager notices that Nia's computer is still open and realizes that Silas had come in pursuit of Nia. The manager threatens Silas, saying that he has heard that Silas has been constantly following Nia, and such behavior is not tolerated there. If Silas doesn't stop these actions soon, the manager will report him. Silas becomes very scared after receiving this threat from his manager. Nia stopped speaking with Silas. When she meets him outside, she tells him directly that if she continues to talk to him, their manager will fire her from her job and she will have to find work elsewhere. Nia is deeply saddened by this and leaves. Nia has so many emotions for Silas that she can't control them and starts crying out of frustration. After seeing all these things, Silas decides to leave his current job and find another job where his illness won't cause problems for his friends. Silas leaves the company as soon as possible and starts working at a nursery in a plant. While working there, Silas meets Jonas, the man he encountered at the treatment center. Silas asks Jonas how long it will take to find a cure for the disease. Jonas understands that Silas is very troubled and offers him the chance to work with a large team that is dedicated to finding a complete cure for the SOS disease. Silas joins the committee, but on the other hand, Nia's behavior has become very aggressive, and her work performance has declined significantly. She can't concentrate at all, so she goes directly to Silas's house. Silas is quite shocked to see Nia, who looks very frustrated, so he holds her close. They begin to express their emotions and share very good moments together. Nia feels very good for the first time in a long time, so she doesn't want to let go of Silas. They become physically intimate, and they both decide to keep their illness a secret but continue meeting each other as lovers. Nia finishes her work as quickly as possible and secretly comes out to enjoy walks with Silas in the garden. Their pairing looks very good, and they can express their emotions and feelings to each other. Here we learn that scientists have found a solution for the SOS disease. If someone takes the medicine, their emotions will be completely eliminated. However, Silas and Nia do not want to lose their emotions. They both go to inform the committee members about the news. Silas and Nia request that even though there is a cure for the disease, they do not want to take the medicine. They have made it clear that they want to leave the facility and go far away from there. However, the other committee members are not convinced, but Jonas agrees to help them because he sees the true love between Silas and Nia. Jonas says that he will plan and help them leave the facility in 3 days. Silas is very happy, but the shocking news is that due to very poor performance, Nia is found guilty and is not allowed to leave the city. Nia tells Silas about this, and Silas suggests a solution. Nia should seek treatment from the doctor, where they will find out she has SOS and start her medication. Nia follows Silas's advice and goes to the doctor. However, when the doctor treats her, the shocking news is that Nia is pregnant. In this society, natural pregnancy is considered a serious crime. Security guards capture Nia and imprison her in a large jail. Silas was very worried about why Nia hadn't returned, but the committee members found out where Nia was being held. So they secretly helped Nia escape from her captivity. They replaced the chip in Nia's hand and put another woman, who was already dead, in her place in the jail. Nia was completely free now and ready to leave the facility with Silas. But the bad news came when the facility's CCTV cameras discovered that Jonas and his committee members were trying to break the rules. Jonas and all his committee members were arrested. When Silas went to inquire about Nia in jail, the security guards told him that Nia had died, but in reality, it was another woman that the committee had replaced with Nia. Hearing this, Silas was completely devastated and fell into deep depression, wondering how this could happen to Nia. In his anger, he took all the medicine to cure SOS. Meanwhile, Nia kept searching for Silas but couldn't find him anywhere. However, when Nia went to the tree nursery where Silas used to work, she finally found him after a long time. But Silas had no emotions left because he had taken the medicine. Although they shared some good moments when Nia touched him, Silas was no longer the same person who loved Nia. The next morning, Nia too fell into deep depression because Silas had changed. They both continued working in the same facility but lived separately. Even though everything seemed fine, they couldn't be together. And thus, our heart-wrenching story ends here.